What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. Today we're going to be going over a nice little weapon review for y'all that I think is one of the best kinetic SMGs that we have in the game, with the prolonged engagement that has stasis burn. Now this has some very interesting roles that we can get for PvP, PvE, so I'm going to cover both of those for y'all that I think are the God Rolls, as well as its origin traits for this weapon, which does help making it, in my opinion, an A-tier weapon in both categories for PvP and PvE. So starting out right here for our first origin trait, we have Vanguard's Vindication. So final blows with this weapon grant us a small amount of health. It does only give us back 7 of that health, so not really too noticeable, but it does help in the long run when there is a lot of ads to clear. Now on top of that, what I think is the better of the two is Vice Stinger. So when we do damage on enemies with this weapon, we have a chance to fully reload the magazine from the reserves. This is super nice for continuous damage on stuff like when we have our linear fusions that have it, but something like this, we're doing damage on a champion or a major, something with a little bit more health than a red bar rank and file, we're able to get that entire magazine back with some of that damage. So it doesn't proc consistently, but it is pretty often, in my personal opinion. So starting out right here for our PvP build, we're going with small bore for our barrel because it gives us that 7-2 stability and 7-2 range. This thing really likes to eat with the extra little bit of range, especially with the other perks we have on it. So it can compete with some of those auto rifles at a little medium range and those side arms that are running the Crucible right now, even though it is a little switch up for now, in my opinion. Haven't seen it quite as much, but I think this really makes it compete. Next off, as always, we're going with ricochet rounds in this middle slot for our magazine. It gives us that nice increase to stability and range. Again, in my opinion, the best perk for this slot. You could go with the one above this in high cal rounds. That gives it a nice little bit of extra damage, but I still think ricochet is the best. Now moving on to our third column, for me, I'm going with killing wind in this slot. So on those weapon defeats, we get plus 22 range, plus 50 in our mobility, 40 to handling, and some increase to damage fall off. So that allows us to have that insane range on this weapon when pairing it with ricochet, as well as our small bore and our fourth perk. This thing getting procced gives us some pretty gnarly range for an SMG. So I like to usually pair it with a sniper to back that up, and then when you run out of ammo, this thing just works wonders on a Guardians. Finally, for that PvP realm, like I said, for range, we're using rangefinder, so aiming down the sights gives us a nice increased effective range, zoom magnification, so that right there is beautiful, like I said, for having those longer to medium range fights with an SMG. You're able to keep up with some of those side arms and some of those auto rifles at that medium distance, so very good perk to have on that weapon. Now switching it up to PvE right here, we're going with Arrowhead Break for our barrel. This helps us with our recoil, gives us a little extra handling so we can switch on and off of this a little bit faster, like using something with Wither Horde to get that nice AoE damage and stuff like that. You can switch on, do that damage, and then switch to this bad boy right there. Has that nice juicy recoil with plus 15, so it's pretty straight up and down and very easy to shoot inside the PvE realm. Now I'm switching it up a little bit right here with Light Mag for our second column, just because I think the increased reload speed and range is helping us more than just the 2 extra bullets for something like Appended Mag. Plus with the perks that we're going to have in the third and fourth column, I don't think that just that 2 bullets is going to help. I would rather have that plus 10 to reload speed, plus that little extra range for something in the harder end game content where you got to stay a little bit farther back from enemies. Now, one of the reasons that I didn't choose appended mag is because of this subsistence perk right here that I'm going to have on my god roll for the third column. Defeating targets partially reloads the magazine from reserves. So it's basically every single defeat you get 2 bullets back. So it's very, very efficient in the PvE realm. That's why I wanted that little extra range and reload speed. So if we do run out, we can reload faster with that light mag, and just subsistence is an S tier PvE perk in my opinion. Now finally, in this column there are some very good perks like Headstone and Frenzy for that nice stasis synergy and damage, but I personally really like Adiago, which after defeating targets this weapon fires, charges, or draws more slowly but deals more damage. This is very easy to get procced and it feels very good on this SMG in my personal opinion. We get 30% increase to damage on weapon defeats, so very high damage compared to something like Frenzy. We aren't getting quite as much as that, so interesting little roll in my opinion, throwing Adiago on it. Headstone, like I said, very good for synergy, and Frenzy, nice little backup for damage as well, but Adiago is my go-to. So thank you guys so much for watching. Grind this bad boy out. Comes from Vanguard strikes at the end, that final chest. Throw on that ghost mod for Prosperity and Vanguard and get to grinding these out. Definitely taking this bad boy into Lightfall as well. So thank you guys again. Truly appreciate that support. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.